On our journey through through the tarot deck, we have reached the end, which means we have also reached a new beginning. Number 10. And the major cards, number 10, is the Wheel of Fortune. I rather like that because this is like the snake with its tail in its mouth, and that end is in my beginning, or my end is another beginning. A wheel of fortune, the wheel endlessly turns. There is no end, there is no beginning. There is only endless cycles. And when we get to the tens, it's 1 and 0. So in a sense, we come back to number 1. We come back to the very beginning again. And what we have here, the 10 of coins, it's not about money. It's about wealth and abundance in a completely different way. This is about family. What is going on here is changes within a family. Young people are leaving, flying the nest, leaving to start their own family, to start a new cycle, to start a new beginning. So the grey-haired man there is the father who has lost his role as father and presumably will soon become a grandfather and will move up the generations, as of course we all move up the generations. So when you find this in a reading, it's often indicative of sons or daughters who have left home. Perhaps a baby has been born. Perhaps someone has passed away. But it is about your changing role within a family, as you suddenly find yourself an aunt or an uncle, or perhaps you find yourself an orphan as your second parent passes into spirit. Perhaps you find yourself bereaved because your son or your daughter has left home. That's a kind of bereavement because it is a change, and it is, they are no longer your little girl anymore. They are an adult. And of course, it is about embracing change, accepting change, going with change, taking joy in change, I think. The Ten of Cups, yes, it is about his and hers relationship. It's about love in that sense. But of course, there are children playing here happily. And the cups themselves form a rainbow, a symbol of hope and joy. So this is actually achieving. There's an overtone of this of having a certain amount of financial security. I don't think that the family here are worrying about how they're going to make the next gas bill, but there is joy and happiness that comes from love. Yeah, so this is kind of about achieving what it is that you worked so hard for. But there's also children here, so that is also a new beginning, isn't it? Starting afresh. The darker 10 cards. 10 of Wands. We've all felt like this at some time. Now, at first glance, it looks like you're working too hard. You're shouldering too much. Does he really have to carry all 10 wands? Can somebody not relieve him of a little bit of this burden? Working too hard. There's a sense of desperation here. So maybe it is base meaning it is simply time to start reevaluating your working life and working out a way of actually not bringing your work home with you in the evening, that kind of thing. But it can also mean shouldering too much responsibility, perhaps with a family. Or maybe just shouldering too much emotional issues. A lot of masseurs will tell you that, of course, a lot of people have terrible knots in their shoulders. Often a sign of issues with your parents, actually. But yeah, if you're carrying a lot of emotional angst, a lot of worries, a lot of tension, it really does show in your shoulders. And what people have come to a tarot reader for is suggestions, or but we can say this is where you're at, these are the challenges that you need to face. We can't really tell people how. This one, oh, really wince when this turns up in a reading. 10 of Swords. Do you feel like you've been stabbed in the back? Often goes with a difficult divorce, or having been made redundant, or possibly fired from a job. It has that kind of feeling with it, and there's a huge feeling of injustice with this, but as is so often the Rider-Waite Tarot, he is an actor. And you can see there the yellow. This is the darkest before the dawn, a bit like the Nine of Swords. Things are going to get better, but it also says step back a little bit, reevaluate everything. It goes a little bit with the Tower. It's like, yes, if you've lost your job for whatever reason, in every end is a new beginning. From the ruins of the Tower, you build something new. There is dawn on the horizon. The message of tarot is that energy is always flowing. Things are always changing. Embrace change. Of course, tarot is about looking to the future, but it's also about enjoying the journey, and it is about growing and developing. Snakes, when they grow, have to shed their skin, and that's actually very difficult for snakes. They actually have to work quite hard at shedding their old skin. And so the message of some of the 10 cards is, yes, it is time to shed your skin. It is time to move on up, time to embrace change, time to accept change. So I hope you're all growing and developing and accepting change and embracing change. And like the snake, shedding your skin in order to move forward. And know that life will always give you challenges. And it's from those challenges that we grow and we develop. So grow and learn and have fun with it. If you're intrigued about tarot, please do subscribe to my channel. And if you like stories, please check out some of my storytelling videos. And I hope to see you again soon. And have fun.